This is the piston out of an ISL. Remove the piston. This is an articulating skirt on this one. Articulating piston. It is directional the way that it goes. Basically, if you're reading the book, it says the deep valve pocket on the top of the piston, which is right here, that's a valve recess, faces the exhaust side, and the opening of the rod faces the intake side. You don't want to force these pins through. You see there's the skirt, there's the crown. Sometimes they'll say front. Oh, it does say front on this one, so that's another identifying mark. Sometimes you can't see it, especially on used stuff like this. We put our skirt back on. These recesses here are really important. If you get them on wrong, you'll knock the piston cooling nozzles off. Okay, we want to look at our cap here. This is what we call a cracked rod versus a machined rod. You can see how the cap of that looks like it's really rough and brittle. Basically, that's because they snap these off, and that's how they say it's a lot stronger. Came from NASCAR. Okay, so this piston's going to go back in like so. I'm going to work that in evenly. You don't want to force it. As you'll see here on the rod, they stamped the number of the piston it came out of, or the cylinder. So let's see. So deep valve recess, that's the front. And that's opposite of the opening of the connecting rod, so that's right. I'm going to put our snap ring back in. I'm kind of picky about these, but you got to make sure they're seated in the grooves. This retaining ring needs to go here. Kind of turn it, just barely lightly turn it, and I put the split towards the bottom of the piston. That's the best place to put it. And then I'm going to take my rings and I'm going to orient one. Here's the thrust face. There's one on the other side, and I'm going to put it at an angle from there. I'm going to take the scraper ring gap here, next one, and I'm going to go 180 degrees from that. Cummins calls for 120 degrees, 120 degrees, 120 degrees, but none of the lines can line up. So we'll turn this to 90 degrees from that. So we have a split there, there, and there. Now we put our ring compressor, which is this guy here. This is a 4.5 inch bore. It's tapered, so this side is bigger than this side, so this side goes down. We'll lube everything up, put this on. So essentially, over here around my piston, put my pin in, I'm ready to go. I got to put some oil on it first. Be pretty liberal with the oil. Lube the compressor, the piston up. Make sure there's not a split on the compressor where it closes. That'll cause you some problems. Put the pin in. It's ready to install, so we'll take our cap off. Just remember that the valve recess goes towards the exhaust side and the small opening, so this side goes to the intake side. Also says front on the piston, so that helps us out too. Okay, I'm going to lube up my bore. I can do 2 and 5 at the same time. So small side is going to go to the intake side, which will be this way. Get it started. I'm going to make sure the connecting rod is parallel. You see it says front here, so I know I'm in the right way. I've got my crankshaft at bottom dead center. I'll have to go down to the bottom and make sure I line that up. Okay, here's number 5, and then we'll go connect them on the bottom side. I lube my connecting rod bearing. That goes to the intake side again. Started here. I want this to go through this one solid motion like that. And then I'll go to the bottom side and pull up the rest of it. In there, you see it's not all the way down yet. So I need to pull it down the rest of the way. So the tang always goes to tang. Now we're going to move my bearing again. And oops, that's backwards. I always want to go tang to tang. We'll do 5 the same way, and then we'll come back and torque both of them. We'll put a little lube on our bolts here, on our heads, right there. Kind of keep the friction down. There, sounds like. This is the torque at the 44, which is this one. I did the wrong side first. Usually do tank side first, but we're backing it off, so it's not a huge deal. So then it says to back it off. We're going to retorque it to 52 and then go 60 degrees. And set at 52. And then we'll turn it 60 degrees. Okay, we're going to torque angle these. Put a mark there, and there's 60 degrees, which is 1 hex. 60, you can see those line up.